Hey, what's going on, everybody? Huvi 186 back again with another video, and this is the E3 video that I promised like a couple days ago. This finally off from work and decided to do this video. Um, so overall E3, I thought E3 overall was a hold on, let me turn this off. I thought E3 overall was a good show overall. All three conferences, ironically enough, showed some cool stuff. I'm not going to be covering Microsoft's E3. I mean, I will say this. Killer Instinct looked like ass.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
We're going to begin in
Hold on,
1 minute.
I'm rewatching the PlayStation conference, PlayStation E3 conference. So let me put that on mute. But overall, I thought all three conferences did well. As far as Microsoft, I'll do Microsoft quickly. Killer Instinct looked like ass. The best game that they showed at that conference was what was it? It wasn't Titanfall. Like the funny thing is, like Titanfall in Destiny, Titanfall looks worse, but it has that Call of Duty gameplay style that I like. But Destiny, while it looked better, and definitely was something that looked pretty cool, it doesn't seem like it's the type of first-person shooter that I would be completely into. So that's kind of like a weird dynamic between the two of them. But yeah, I can't think of the game that impressed me on the Microsoft side. And another thing, I mean, okay. Like, the Halo trailer that they showed was completely stupid. The dude's wearing some type of, I think like a cloth or whatever. Why the fuck he's wearing a cloth? He's wearing a suit. Like, he's trying to cover himself from sand or something? Like, what the fuck was that about? But, anyway, besides that, I mean, the conference overall, it was a good conference. It's just that, their policies are just bullshit. So I don't like. I knew what they were going to do. They were going to show the games. They got some money around, so they're paying off third-party developers like EA to make exclusive games on there. I mean, no, it wasn't a surprise to me. But until they fix their bullshit policies, and according to Giant Bomb, I'll put the link down below. But according to Giant Bomb, Microsoft might actually make a complete reversal of that. So if that's the case, then that's good. I'm still wouldn't buy one because it's too expensive. But that's a good step. That's a step in the right direction. This is what happens when the consumers have the power. Like, if we don't like something, we complain about it. But anyways, enough about Microsoft. Sony's E3 conference I thought was okay. It didn't have anything. The games that I was mostly interested in, they announced in February with Killzone and what's that? Oh, Infamous. So none of the other stuff like really intrigued me all that much. I mean, there was a bunch of games that they showed that were CG trailers. Like The Order and Mad Max and stuff like that. So. Yeah, but obviously, the highlight of the show was at the end when they announced their policies, the used DRM, the stuff with the used games and DRM and the price. So overall, it was an okay conference. I wouldn't say it was anything groundbreaking. Definitely thought last year's E3 conference was better. But definitely there were the highlights it definitely had the best moment of E3 was the last, I'll probably say 10 minutes of the Sony conference. That was the best part of E3 for me. And let's see what else. Again, but one criticism I had last year that they did this year was little Vita talk, and that was annoying to say the least. And it really shows you that one of the problems that the Vita is going to have is that there's not a lot of big AAA titles coming to the system, and that's kind of I'm kind of nervous about that. But anyways, as far as Nintendo goes, I didn't really watch Nintendo conference, but I read all the trailers. I know all the games coming out. The conference overall was okay. It was good. It was basically a repeat of the first direct after the Wii U came out, but based on what the game that they showed, it was okay. It was fine. One of my biggest criticisms of the Nintendo conference is that when you have two new consoles that are showing new games, new IPs, and all the other stuff, Nintendo played it safe. And that, for a struggling console, regardless of what you assholes, you Nintendo fanboys want to say, the Wii U is a struggling console right now. And despite all that, they didn't really have anything that compared to the other two, and didn't have anything that really blew people away. Like, I mean, not Call of Duty. Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U looked amazing. It really did. It was, to me, that was the standout game out of that conference, was Mario Kart 8. Looked amazing. Is it enough for me to buy a Wii U? No. Would it be one of the first games I would buy if I bought a Wii U? Absolutely. And all Mario Kart games are definitely first, like, biased for a Nintendo console. You know what I mean? I can still play Mario Kart and enjoy it, you know. So, you know, but you know, they announced that Smash Brothers was going to come out 2014. Mega Man was going to be one of their characters, and that's cool. Retro Studios' new game apparently is a sequel to their latest Donkey Kong game, which is fine. I mean, the Donkey Kong games are very good. It's just that, you know, all the fanboys were hyping up Retro Studios' new game as kind of like, you know, I guess many people expected like a Metroid Prime game or something like that, but you didn't get that. And you know, but overall, it was very safe. It was a very safe E3 for Nintendo, and when you really kind of thought that with everything going on around them, that they would like step it up, but that didn't happen. But you know, it was still a good conference. I mean, all three conferences were good. They weren't terrible. They were good. As far as overall show presentation, I cannot. It would be very tough for me to put Nintendo into the category because they went with a different approach. You know, so it's hard for me to say that you know they won over the other two, because what they showed was fine, but how they presented it was with this bland Nintendo Direct style, and that you know, that doesn't cut it for me. So if I had to pick between the three that was the best one, I would probably say Sony was number 1, Microsoft was number 2, and Nintendo was number 3. And that's not to say that, you know, and it's not to bash Nintendo or anything like that. I just think that the style that they went for, you know, while it was new, while it was different, it just wasn't. I wasn't feeling it, and you know, so that's just how it goes for me. But overall, like, who won E3? Overall, I mean, the gamers won E3, because when this is another thing that I would talk about. Maybe I'll do it in this video. Like, fuck it. I mean, I ain't doing nothing else today, so might as well. When you have gamers and you have consumers, when they don't like something and they let you know, that's not a bad thing. And what Sony did at this conference right here, they basically listened to their consumers and basically said, okay, we won't have this type of restrictions, we won't have none of this type of stuff. Now, Sony might have been vague about it, don't get me wrong, probably was vague about it, you know, no doubt about it, but they're a company, of course they're going to be vague about it. That's how it is. But they basically said it, like, even if there's going to be DRM on both systems, which is more than likely going to happen, it's still going to happen. I mean, we deal with DRM right now. But what they did was basically showcase why their console was a better value than the Xbox One. And all you Xbox One fanboys need to realize that. It was a smart business decision on Sony's part to cater to their consumers. You know what I mean? Why would Microsoft get away with all this bullshit that they do? Is because you assholes are just going to accept it no matter what. Microsoft's not stupid. They know exactly what you guys are going. Like, look at all the idiots who are out there defending the shit that Microsoft is doing. Why wouldn't they try that stuff? You guys aren't going to fucking complain. At least the ones on YouTube are not going to complain. If you look at the pre-order numbers of the system, I mean, right now, based on all indicators, I mean, PS4 is kicking ass right now. And that's because Sony was smart about it, and they catered to the consumers instead of catering to the developers. Because regardless of what, you know, third-party developers want to think, they're not going to cut off half of their user base if just because, you know, Xbox One is doing something that they want and PS4 is not. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen, and especially when you consider that Microsoft is you know, is shitty towards indie developers. I mean, it's not going to happen. You know, they just can't do it, because regardless, people more like if the trends stay the way that they stay, most people are going to buy that game on the PS4, regardless of whether the DLC comes first on the system or not. Doesn't fucking matter. Perfect example, Assassin's Creed, I think 3. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3. They pushed the PS3 version as the quote superior version with the commercials and the exclusive deal, well, at least the 1 month DLC early and shit like that. I think that was it. And guess what? The 360 version still outsold it. So it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter. If most people have one console, they're going to buy games on that console. So yeah. Yeah, but I'll make a separate video on Xbox One fanboys and a comparison that to, you know, a certain group of other people. But, you know, overall that was really my thoughts. The game of the show for me, the game that interested me the most, I would probably say was Infamous 2: Second Son. The game looks amazing. I mean, I love the way the game looks. I mean, you look at the original Infamous game, and you keep going up to Infamous 2 and then Infamous 3, and then look at Second Son. I mean, it just looks amazing. I can't wait for it. Graphics looks amazing. The smoke move that I forgot what his name is. I think it was Desmond or something. I don't remember. But, you know, the guy, his smoke abilities look cool, and everything about the game looks cool. So that was the game of the show for me. Other games that stood out would probably be Witcher 3. That game looks fucking amazing. Like, granted, they were showing the PC version, obviously, but Witcher 3 looks amazing. And those are not the type of games that I'm into at all. Like, I'm not into the RPG type games like that. But that game looked amazing. That game shits on that, what's that game? Elder Scrolls? The latest one, Skyrim, my bad. Skyrim. It shits on Skyrim. Like as far as visuals go, well, obviously, but it shits on Skyrim, like, completely. The Division looked very cool. You know, I've always wanted to play, you know, been missing that type of gameplay from Tom Clancy. It reminds me of Ghost Recon a little bit. So that was cool. What other games stood out? Yeah, I think that's really about it. They show so many games at E3. There's so many games that are coming out, and that's a good sign for the gaming industry overall. So I'm happy about that. That's why, you know, I was having an argument with a friend of mine who said that, you know, we don't need next generation. I told him we need next generation because, you know, you need to bring excitement to the industry. You know what I mean? Like, you have these games coming out. I mean, this generation has gone on way too long. You know what I mean? Like, me, I'm going to wait a year before I decide on which console I'm going to buy. More than likely it's going to be the PS4. But I normally like to wait a year, you know, just so that, you know, get all the bullshit out the way with some of the shit. So yeah. So overall, it was a good conference. I'll have more videos coming up soon. I'm hit up some Black Ops, and then I'll probably do another video. But anyway, this is Huvi 186. I'm out of here.